So I went to the Blue Mountain place, and I walked in and I got the coffee, and I was sorely disappointed. It was so sour and weird tasting, and so I didn't go again. And then like a couple of weeks later, I thought, I'd give it another try. Maybe they're just having a bad day, a bad filter day or something. So I went back and I got it, and it was just really sour. And then I went back home and between the first time and the second time I researched it, because I'm weird like that. So I looked all about coffee, making coffee. I read in there that it's as simple as if you overground or ground. So the second time I went back, I thought I'd give it another try once I learned all that. And it was sour, so it wasn't very busy at all. I think it was just me. And I said which is sad, right? I'm the only one in there.
Yeah.
So
that should be an indication.
Exactly. So I said, I read somewhere that if the coffee is sour, it means it's been ground too much. And then if coffee is bitter, hopefully I'm saying it the right way. I don't plan on getting a job as a barista, but if it's bitter, then it's not ground enough. So after I told her, she just looked at me. If she had a knife, she would have stabbed me.
Oh wow!
I was like, I think I went like this because I was like, wow, what a response.
Yeah, I think we can get a refill actually. Okay. Is there still some in there? My brother has been roasting his own coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Where does he get the beans? You can get them anywhere?
I don't remember where he gets them. Yeah, I think my niece, his daughter, Maya, works at Phylz Coffee. Do you have Phylz down there?
I love Phylz Coffee. That's where I get my coffee.
Okay.
I
like the Tesora. Is that the one you like?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most popular ones.
That's what I get. Of course, it's always there. I always get the Tesora, and I get I get it ground for a K-Cup.
Okay.
I have my own. It grosses me out about me and my plastics and
me
conservation
too.
and stuff. So I have a K-Cup where I get it ground for that, and it's perfect, and I love it, and I'm happy.
Nice.
And I don't spend $5 on a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, but God, every morning. And of course, you never just get the coffee, because
they have good pastries at Phylz.
I know. So I would spend between $5 and $15 after I give a couple bucks tip or something. $5 and let's just say $10. That's $70 a week. So Campbell is so much more charming. I mean, I know when I tell people where I grew up, I go, I don't say I'm from the city called Campbell. I always say town, because that always had a town feel.
Yeah, it was a little town. Yeah. Obviously, when we were talking last night, we were talking about the orchards.
Yeah.
Back when we were kids, it has changed a lot since then.
Did you have a cherry plum in front of your house?
A cherry what?
Cherry plum tree?
No.
They had like a deep purple leaves were.
Oh, the leaves.
Yeah, and then they would turn into these beautiful cherry blossom color looking, that very pretty pink. And then you would get this fruit that would be like this big. And if you ate it, which I did, it would shred you up inside.
Oh, really?
But it was so delicious. My mouth is watering.
Really?
Cherry and plum. So it had the tartness of a cherry.
I didn't know that they bore fruit.
Most of the street, it would just fall to the ground, and then from end of July through maybe September, it smelled like rotten cherry plums, which rotten anything isn't good, right?
Yeah.
But most people did that. My mom would go, my father would climb a ladder, and they would pick all of them, and she would make cherry plum jam, cherry plum preserves, cherry plum.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the same tree. I'm thinking of that. It has really dark purple leaves. And they have
maybe I'm saying it wrong.
They have that, but I didn't know that they did you say bore fruit or bared fruit? I didn't know that they had fruit.
It gets fruit. It has fruit.
I didn't know that it grew fruit.
Yeah, but the trees going down Sobrado Drive, I was like, every house, And I thought that was genius of the developers.
Was it right on the sidewalk next to the street? Each
Yeah,
line,
yeah,
it lined
yeah.
our neighborhood has almost every street has sycamore trees.
Yeah.
They're a mess.
They are.
Yeah, and they're not the strongest tree as they grow and get big, especially if we've had a lot of back-to-back drought season or years.
Or are they brittle?
They get very brittle and giant branches will fall. They're dangerous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful.
We can switch it.
That is gorgeous. Look at that. And my toast. Don't ask me. Don't eat so many carbs. Doesn't matter. I love sourdough toast. Ooh, perfect.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, look at that.
It's perfect, right?
Every decade you have a different set of people in your life, it seemed like.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, unless you're just one of those people that
don't change jobs or don't move away, or
men live longer when they're married and women live longer when they're alone. Did you know that?
No, great.
But here's the irony. Women who don't have children live shorter lives than women who do have children. Okay, so the irony in that is you live longer if you're single, but you die earlier because usually you don't have children.
And you don't have anybody to take care of you when you get old.
Exactly. But that's that article I read is that, right?
Yeah.
And then you always want to have boys and girls. This is just what I read. If you have boys, you'll never be poor. If you have girls, you'll never be alone.
If you have boys, you'll never. Okay, well, I have all boys.
Yeah. But you have such a large family, you'll
True.
never be alone. Doesn't
That's
matter.
true.
You have daughter-in-laws.
Yes, and
great
I think
ones.
about that a lot, actually.
You have really good daughter-in-laws.
I'm so lucky.
You love them.
I love them. Like my
And I'm
own.
sure they love you guys.
Mm-hmm. I hope they do.
I don't like that saying or when people say don't have regrets. I go, no, have regrets because that's how you learn. And I feel like I still make decisions now where I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, you learn from it, but you don't want to hurt anybody.
No, but I feel like, damn, I have the same kind of regrets. Oh. Anyway, so there are things that I don't know about you because it's like, even though we've known each other for how long?
Oh my goodness, I've known
about you.
I think we had a class together or two in junior high. I knew you in junior high.
Yeah, we knew about each other.
Well, I mean, I knew you. I know you're in my.
We didn't even become.
I mean, we didn't hang out. I don't even remember who I was hanging out with in junior high. Who was my friend in junior high?
I didn't have any.
I don't remember.
I didn't have any.
I don't remember who my friend was. Did I have one?
I was a loner. I was one of those people that, like, I would have panic attacks at lunchtime.
Yeah.
I didn't know who to eat with, and then I remember I did make friends with this like 2 or 3 girls. We were kind of friends for a while, and then I was such a jerk.
I think she went to St. Lucy's. I went to St. Lucy's. I think she was a friend of mine in St. Lucy's.
I was such a jerk. Like I was climbing the social ladder. Like if somebody else paid attention to me, and for a while there, I just kind of didn't hang out with her anymore. And then one day, I realized that wasn't the right branch to climb, and so I went back to her. And I remember the 2 of them or the 3 of them looked at me like, "You." No, I mean, they're all sweet. We were all sweet back then. But I do remember it was really awkward. Isn't that weird how I remember that?
You don't forget things like that.
13?
You don't forget feelings.
I know.
Things
I made them feel bad. And then they made me feel bad.
Yeah.
Remember, we used to call people snobs. Now we call them bitches. But, I mean, now it's a good word.
Yeah.
But I remember back then, it was like, she's so snobby.
Yeah. I'm inhaling this.
But I remember across the street, it was Ireland. Did I ever tell you that story when we were in like 3rd grade or something, 4th grade?
Her mother, something about her mom.
Yeah, well, yeah, they I don't remember exact details, but I do remember I didn't play basketball with him. But I didn't play because I didn't think I was athletic. I didn't think I was any good. And they thought I was like being snobby. And then they called me out. I don't know what that means. What they have done, like pull my hair or something, but they called me out after school. I was really scared. So they, the Irish contingency. My mom invited one or both moms. I remember sitting on this long couch, and I just remember sitting there on this side, and basically my mom told them, that's bad. Don't do that. And they got it out of them why they didn't like me, and they said it was because they thought I was a snob.
Oh, how funny.
And then maybe my mom explained to them, Miyuki's just really shy. Everybody, whoever I didn't talk to or I would like shy away, they would think that I was a snob.
Yeah, and I've been labeled hard to approach, or
what's it called?
I'm hard to approach.
Hard to approach.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. I believe that when we're little, like kindergarten, it's when you get. It's probably the first institution where you're around everybody your age, right?
Right.
We all did the same thing. We learned math and all that stuff, but how to count to 10. By the time kids get to 5 now, they know trig and poli-sci.
Yeah. 2 languages.
I know. So, but I remember in kindergarten, we all did the same thing. We painted. We learned. My friend told me what it was. Hokey pokey,
right?
So we all danced. We all learned an instrument. You pick up. Remember, they'd have a box of instruments, and you would go and
love that.
Play the drums.
I remember that kindergarten classroom.
Yeah,
perfectly.
We all played sports. We played tag and like dodgeball and
rode the tricycles around the little circle.
Yes, we were all the same. We painted. Everybody got a star.
Everybody got our turn.
Happy face, right?
Yeah.
And then it just gets worse after that. It's like this. No, you can't. You call that dancing? Yeah. And I feel like that's what has eroded our psyche. It isn't just the stress and the responsibility and all that, but it's not doing things that for many, many years, like when you were at home, you would color and if you want to run around the field, and if you want to sing, you want to just sing at the top of your lungs and whatever. It's oh, Therese is so cute, I really, when I propose this or when I have doodle classes, if I can get people to come, a lot of them haven't drawn literally since they were 5 years old.
Wow.
And then when at the end of the hour, once they look down at what they've drawn, they're like, I mean, and it's kind of bittersweet, but I just go, look, see, you are artistic, you are creative. So I was thinking about you, and I was like, was there ever a time where I remember you played the piano and you sang, and or did you ever want to be do any of the arts? Did you want to be a singer?
No, not performing arts, but I do remember after Mark and I got married, I was really interested in working for Walt Disney. I think we went to Disneyland one time, and I think it was the first time I saw the Fantasmic show. You know that the water show.
Yeah.
It was so. I don't think I've ever felt that way since then. It was so inspiring, and I want to do that. I want to be part of that. It's so Walt Disney has a way of doing that.
Yeah, it's a formula.
Yeah. But I wanted to do that. I remember going and visiting. I think it was. What's the name of the art school in San Francisco?
Otis?
No.
Parsons?
No.
San Francisco School of Arts?
I think it was just. Yeah, I think it was that. And it was too expensive. Yeah, so I didn't pursue it. And then straight out of high school, I wanted to be an interior designer, and I did go to school a couple years at West Valley. I was starting there. Yeah, I have a lot of.
What happened there?
I was working at Crocker Bank at the time, and I just remember there's a couple of ladies that were interior designers, and they would come in and I would talk to them. And one of them in particular, she was like, "Oh, you don't want to live around here. If you're going to be an interior designer, you have to live in, you know, a big city like San Francisco or whatever."
Or at least Palo Alto.
And she's like talking it down, and then I thought, eh. And then I got pregnant with Matt.
Oh.
Had a baby, and you know, things changed. I stopped going to school, and I don't know, I just stopped.
Yeah.
I have a creative piece in me. I think I let it out in the garden right now. That's what I'm doing.
I was going to ask you
Yeah.
that. You did all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. You could do that for a living. Landscaping.
I do it for myself, really. I just love it. I love being, every day I come home from work and I go straight out to the front yard or the backyard.
It is stunning.
Oh, thank you.
When we're driving,
Mother Nature handled most of it. You know, I mean, a lot of those plants have been in there since we moved in there, and so as the years go, I mean, they're getting more
you didn't
beautiful.
kill them.
Yeah,
that's 90% of the.
Well,
I'm just going to be blunt. Like, yeah. So you had a baby. Why didn't you stick with?
Because probably another thing I lack is motivation, or not motivation. Yeah, I'm not motivated enough for some reason. I lack the what word am I looking for?
I don't know. Ambitious.
I'm not ambitious.
Why not? Why don't you think you are? Not that it's good or bad. I don't think ambition is a good or bad word.
I think it comes down. I think I'm just lazy.
Or
lack of confidence.
Maybe you were just yes.
Confidence, lack of confidence.
A lot to do with it.
So I'll get to a certain point and then I'll get stuck. Like, oh, I don't know how to do that, and then.
Just because you have a short attention span doesn't mean you have ADD, and just because you stayed up one night till 3 o'clock in the morning doesn't make you OCD, you know?
Yeah.
But I did it repetitively, daily, weekly, monthly. If I got into something, it's like all consuming, and I became like expert over that, you know? Uh-huh. And then I would be there one night at 3 in the morning going, wait a minute, I have 2 jobs, and why am I beating so that I could be in a show on Saturday? You know? So.
Well, I constantly have stuff going through my head. Is that ADHD? Like, I'm constantly, like, I'll get distracted while I'm talking to somebody. Like you and I talking right now. Like, really? I'll start, you'll say something and I'll start thinking of, like, you'll say something and.
You talk like that. Mm-hmm. You go like this, you jump over this branch, you go out here, and over there.
Yeah, you do.
You know? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, thank God for editing.
It's charming.
It's charming. Is it?
It is.
It's not annoying?
Not to me.
Oh. See, that's why I keep you around. I don't know if I ever asked you, did you have to go to school to learn that? Or was it just all on the job?
It's all on the job.
Wow.
But, you know, it helped also working.
You are really, you know, you have so many talents that you needed me around to, like, boost your confidence.
Keep going.
You could have been in the middle of something. Oh, it's too bad we weren't closer, like when you were, because I was going to school and I was in LA. No, I wasn't in LA. I was here, but I was, you know, when you go to school and you have 2 jobs.
What was I working at? Where was I working at? Crocker Bank?
Yeah.
God, we were so young.
I know. I wish.
My 20s.
Can I use that?
Yeah.
I wish I was here and to be more helpful, because maybe even if I had problems with confidence, I think I was a pretty good cheerleader. Like for somebody else. And I wish that I would have been around. I would have been like, so wait, you had a baby.
Get back in there.
Yeah. And I would have looked at your stuff, because, I mean, God, looking at your front yard, you were good.
Oh,
you
thanks.
were probably good. And I would have said, look, it's so good. Damn those people, like those interior designers. I hate it when people think they're trying to be helpful. It's like, yeah, you might want to help with a little warning here and there, but don't squelch.
Yeah.
What else was there anything else besides, well, you got lucky, you landed on something you like to do. And it's, you know, what's great about what you do is it's got everything. It's got structure, because you're working for somebody. it's got manual, it's physical, manual talent, dexterity, and all that, and creative. And then because, like you said, there's really no budget, you could be like, oh, I want to make this, or oh, I saw that, and yeah, that's great.
And it's also a good working in a kitchen like that, in a busy kitchen, is good for somebody that has ADHD or ADD. What's the difference between ADHD? I know it's the hyperactivity.
Yeah, well, that's the difference.
But it doesn't necessarily. I read that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're physically hyper. It's. What does it mean?
Well, yeah, it does. It means you can't sit still. You can't concentrate on one thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But who does? But when it becomes debilitating, that is the word.
Yeah. Well, in the kitchen, it's a good thing because you got stuff going all over the place, and you should be able to.
That's kind of why I think I need to get a job, because as much as I love this life about me flying around and painting and doing whatever and doing the YouTube thing, and really, right now I don't know what my goal is, my accomplishments. I kind of do, but I don't. And am I being charming now? I feel like I'm a little butterfly in the wind. Sometimes I land on the concrete, and sometimes I land on a beautiful flower.
on somebody's antenna.
Chris is telling me, you got to give these people incentive, and I'm like, the incentive is I've done all the work for you. But you just show up. I buy you breakfast. What more do you want? You get a book and some pens. Everybody's a critic. Go for it.
I'm just going for it. Let's see. So that was the 8.
So getting back to write, nobody ever says, "Oh, I wish I had been a CPA."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So my question is, there is no context in this question. There's no time and no budget. Just don't, like the doodle, don't think about it. What would you be if you could be anything?
Yeah, I wish that my sister too. We always say, I wish Mom would have allowed us to take dance lessons.
So, but I remember this woman came up to us, the 3 of us, and she turned to the 2, and she's like, "Oh, we're having this little recital thing or whatever," and it's like she had her back to me. People are so rude.
Yeah.
Okay, I suck, but you don't have to rub it in, okay? You don't want me. Why didn't you just wait until I walked away or something? That was really rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never forgot that.
So thinking of that, how that whoever that person was you were just mentioning, the comment she made and how it affected you. Do you ever wonder how things that you have said that, I wonder if something that I said a long time ago, if that person still remembers it, 40 years later, I wonder if it was so impactful that they're telling somebody else.
Of course, I think of it all. Remember what I just said about half an hour ago?
Yeah.
Or I was young and I just did things that made people feel bad.
I wonder if that person ever thinks
I
about
really
you.
feel. I feel so sad. But
it could be a good thing too. Not necessarily has to be a bad thing. It could be something good that you did.
There's nothing better in the world than getting. It happens to me at private courts up in where Trump golf course is.
Trump? No.
Trump. Who's Trump? You know where Trump golf course is?
No.
Oh, okay. It's above PV. Maybe it is part of PV. Anyway, I used to teach them, and the mother said, my daughter, I can't remember what her name is just finished college, and she played she played through high school, and I don't think she played in college, but she played all through high school, and she loved it, and she remembers you, and I thank you so much for being so kind, and she just, I need to appreciate the responsibility that I have teaching young kids how to play.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm having a shit day or somebody's bursting my bubble of happiness, I gotta remember, if they're just one of 10 students, just don't overreact.
How's your eyesight?
Not good. Yeah. That's why I should try to draw bigger.
Yeah.
Just doodle.
My eyes have changed throughout the years. I remember when I first started wearing glasses back in my early 20s, it was for distance.
Yeah.
Now my distance is perfect, and I need it for close up.
Oh, yeah, I need it for everything. I had astigmatism, or have astigmatism. Sometimes I overthink the doodles now. I started with 30 minutes. And I started with little tiny pens because I could get a lot of drawing done. So all my drawings are really small. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta like stop using these little 005 pens.
What number was that? That was 3. Oh.
You remember when you were 3?
Do I remember when I was 3?
Did you say?
Oh no, I said what number is that?
Oh, I thought you said I remember when I was 3, and I'm like, wow.
Do you remember that early?
No.
My memory isn't as good.
I remember being 4. I remember that, but nothing before 4.
I have vague memories of being at home with my mom before going to kindergarten.
Yeah, so you were probably 4.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Me too.
My mom ironing or whatever.
Are they nice memories?
Yes,
they
very comforting,
nice, yeah.
comforting memories.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, 4. I kept having this one reoccurring, I thought, dream, but then I realized later it was actually a memory from when I was in Korea. It's literally like a flash, like
Really?
1 or 2 second long. This woman wearing this certain outfit that I found out later was the Korean dress.
Oh.
And she had a basket full of these long white things that are radishes. And sitting on a hard concrete something. And I found out later they're all built on concrete foundations, most of the residential buildings. And I remember it was neither here nor there. It wasn't like, but it wasn't like, oh. And it was just this
Isn't that weird? You get
woman.
random memories.
Yeah, but that's the only one.
Oh, really?
So apparently that was me in Korea when I was sitting up and I felt like I was about 2 or 2.5.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't know who this person is. Could it have been like one of the workers, at the orphanage? Could it have been like a foster parent? Could it have been like
your biological mother?
For some reason, it didn't feel like that. But you're right, it could be.
Because you don't. How old were you? You probably don't.
I came over when I was 3.5, and I don't remember that. I came over when I was 3.5, and I remember this. So that is my second memory, which is I got a red balloon, and balloons, they don't last very long.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I don't even know if this is a memory because I think maybe my parents told me about it. But apparently I love this balloon. And, I wanted to take a bath. So they let me take it into the bath. And, of course, you can imagine when it finally popped.
Yes. Balloons don't last forever.
But I do. I have an affinity toward balloons.
That's kind of what I'm doodling here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think what I'm doing are, what do you call those flowers that you blow?
Oh, dandelions.
Oh, dandelions. These are like dandelions.
I have dandelions in my garden, and I love it. I do let the leaves or the flowers seeds, and I grow more dandelions, and then I eat them. They're very good for you.
The leaves.
Yeah. Free produce.
Yeah.
Our whole lives is a journey back to creativity. Again, remember how I gave you the example about when somebody's on their deathbed, you go, you never hear anybody say, I wish I was a city planner.
Yeah.
I do feel like the human race, they move toward, they start out in a pool of creativity and their whole lives is moving toward creativity. Who do we revere? I don't know about other cultures, but a lot of Asian cultures, but also but American cultures. Who do we revere? Actors, dancers, musicians, artists,
entertainment, visual entertainment.
Yes. Creativity. And so my message, my goal is to make people Just do it. Just draw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it could be while you're talking to somebody on the phone. It could be 5 minutes. It could be, an hour. It could be. I think it's better than medicine. It makes you. I hate to use the word meditative because that's sort of like the term du jour. Everybody uses it.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing. It's been proven. This is a fact, not my opinion, that drawing, painting, obviously doodling, lowers your blood pressure. People don't judge you when you're doodling. If you have a paint and brush and you frame it and whatever, then yeah, you get all judgy, right?
I do my best doodling when I'm on hold.
Yeah.
On the phone.
So remember how I posed the question of, or have you ever heard of anybody say, oh, I wish I had been this or that? Yeah. It's the opposite when it comes to a parent telling a child what they don't want them to be. When you go to your parents and you say, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a CPA, they're like, oh, good. They put all their energy into helping you and stuff. As soon as you say, and I'm talking the average parent, like if you were an actor or if they want to be an actor. Oh, but actually you heard about actors who specifically keep their children away from.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. But think about it. Every time a child goes to their parents and they name anything to do with the arts, they're like, oh, well, why don't you at least get your degree first, right?
Yeah.
If they go, Mom, I want to be a dancer. The mom's like, oh, okay, honey, finish your homework. Let's try to get you into, USC. I want to be an artist. Okay, well, at least get your degree in, business. I want to be a photographer. I want to be a musician. Oh, I want to be in a band.
I don't think my parents ever did that. They never swayed us for any reason. Like, no, it doesn't.
Well, your parents were really cool.
Do you ever wish you did something other than art as a profession?
Well, I seriously, and I did pursue it, kind of, moving to LA. I always wanted to be an animator.
Oh, really?
That's why I moved to LA. I don't regret anything, though. I mean, I regret things that I said or did, but I don't regret any, time in my life, even the worst, the most horrible times, because I look at what I've created and what I'm doing and who I am, and it's like, well, would I be this if it hadn't been for that, right?
Yeah.
It's so
I'm gonna dump this out and get some hot.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Yeah.
Of course you know that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get so condescending. It's like, Miyuki, you're not the only one that knows how to cook. Stop telling them what to do. Oh, yeah, can you mince that? You know what mincing is, right? It's like, shut the fuck up. You want to saute. Okay, not too late. I did that a couple weeks ago. I had friends over and we had potluck or something. And somebody was making something she has 3 kids. And I'm telling her I'm like, oh my gosh. She kind of looked at me like, yeah, I know.
Well, there you go. You're confident enough to be able to.
That's not confidence. That's just being bossy.
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 Well, that was fun. Yeah.